Precious cargo number 4. Here we go. Misha, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Just like that, we're rolling.
Let's do this. Oh my gosh. This is easily one of the best things I've ever done. I'm
Perhaps the best
so
part
entertained.
are the looks for people. I think that might be my favorite
The
part.
looks and the bell. The bell is just beautiful.
It is quite. So, Misha, as we get started here,
Yes.
we have 2 routes we can take. We need to take Chestnut Street,
Okay.
or I'm thinking South Street, and we'll connect
Ooh.
to the Schuylkill River Trail.
I love it. Let's do the
If you're
scenic
good with that,
route.
we'll do the Schuylkill. So
Yeah.
we're rolling here away from Huntsman Hall, back towards Center City, and the the bell. I never miss
The
a
bell
chance.
is
to
so
ring the bell,
good. Like,
Use
it as your heart's content.
Yeah. So to get started,
Okay.
Misha, I'm curious, what convinced you to even sign up to do this with me?
I am someone that am not very good at coming up with creative things to do, but I love trying them.
Yeah.
And so I thought this was the best medium of like trying a new experience, having a quality conversation, and being part of something fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really glad. And I guess to maybe get us started, could you share a little bit about maybe where you grew up?
Yeah.
Or the people you grew up with, something you love about your home, or the people you grew up with that you can share?
Yes. So I grew up in the suburbs of Detroit, which the thing I loved about it is a super multicultural community. We had a big Arab American population, African American population, Jewish American population, Indian American, Chinese American, like huge, very, very multicultural, which made me feel like very love to learn about different cultures as a result. And then specifically about like my home, I had a very green backyard and a lot of trees, and I found that to be my like place of serenity.
Yeah.
So that was what I loved about the house I grew up in and the kind of the neighborhood I got to grow up in.
Yeah. So it's funny because Sophie actually mentioned a similar thing. I don't know if you grew up in the same part of Michigan with Sophia did.
We were in like neighboring neighborhoods.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So I guess one question I would have, and this is something I've always been fascinated by, in part because my wife comes from kind of a second-generation immigrant family from the Caribbean.
Yep.
Growing up in a neighborhood with a lot of, whether it's immigrants or recent immigrants.
Yep.
What did it mean, I guess, when you think about like your identity as an American, and how does that differ from your parents and maybe the other kids and parents from other communities? I'm just really curious how you negotiate that. I know people talk a lot about like hyphenated identity.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I would love to kind of hear you talk about that.
This is so timely because I had this conversation with Will Smith. He was like, "You're an American." I was like, "I don't know if I really feel this American the same way you do." So we got into that. So, I definitely subscribe to the fact that I'm what they call a third culture kid.
Yeah.
So neither American nor Iranian, but Iranian American.
Yeah.
So for me, I think I don't realize how American I am until I contrast, because I feel so close to my culture, until I contrast it with people from other countries and realize that a lot of the ideals and values that like we follow in this country are very much ones of my own. And so it comes in this like subliminal way and much less in like a traditional or cultural way. So I never felt like my first, so I think food defines culture in many ways, and my first PB&J was in college. So I didn't feel American in that sense. But yeah.
You actually can't declare yourself an American until you've been eating PB&Js for at least 10 years.
At least 10 years.
So you got a few years to go.
I think
PB&Js
this is my year. 28 will be the year. So I'm 27 now, so almost there.
Fantastic. Excellent. And I guess, is that something you talk a lot about, or talk about a lot with your family? Or do these notions, maybe is it something more you kind of find yourself wrestling with on your own?
I talk a lot about this with my friends. So if I actually look at my friend groups, I have a lot of, I'm friends with a lot of children of immigrants. And we talk about how we're all third culture kids and have kind of bonded in that way. So less so with my family, I think more with other people in that kind of similar situation.
Interesting. If you had a chance to put a message on a billboard that would be seen by millions, Misha, what would you put on it?
I thought about this, and I think the first thing that came to mind was I would take a pomegranate and slice it in half and just put a photo of that sliced in half pomegranate on.
It's very abstract.
Yeah, very abstract. I think it would just get people like wondering like, what is that? And then once they know the answer, it's like, oh, it's a pomegranate, and like make them think about like, well, what, have I ever tried it? What is that? Where does it come from? What does it taste like? What could it mean to me if I try to make it a more abstract fruit? Yeah, I would go with this pomegranate image.
And what would you hope the viewer would take away from that?
So it's kind of cheesy, but in an abstract way, it's my favorite fruit, but in an abstract way, a pomegranate is a fruit with many different seeds, and the seeds all nest in their own little niche, but together create this, really majestic fruit.
And all those seeds will grow into a pomegranate.
Yes. And each of them sits in their own little place, and they're separated by some layers and walls, but if you peel it away, it kind of can all fall out and be their own thing. And so I think the takeaway is that we are each these seeds of this pomegranate and are like really special. And we have our place that we fit into.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful. I never knew pomegranates were that deep.
They can be.
I should add, we're in a red light lightning round. Favorite Wharton professor?
Maybe Reebstein? He's good.
What did you teach?
The marketing sim.
Okay.
Yeah.
And favorite Wharton club?
The Mina Club, of course. Which I'm co-president of, so I'm
What's the best part about it?
It is a beautiful way to share the many regions of the Middle East, and we have the best food. And then I would say dance studio is probably my next favorite.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Haley, that was for you.
Is there anyone you've met at Wharton that you find has really influenced you? Maybe someone you really find either look up to or I don't know, has an influence on you on some way?
Wow, this is a good one.
We're gonna do something unorthodox.
Okay.
Would you mind hitting the passenger crossing button?
Yes. Hold on.
This is the first for Ocean's Cargo. You okay?
Coming back in.
Hop in.
Okay.
Amazing.
We're still alive.
We're waiting for a safe passage across the pedestrian walkway. So, someone you admire, someone who's had a huge influence on you here, or someone that you really respect or look up to.
I think I might change this answer if I think more about it. But one of the things that came to mind was that professor I mentioned introduced me to who is now my Wharton alumni mentor.
Yeah.
And he has a really fascinating story in terms of like his career and what he's focused on now.
Yeah.
That short line is that he survived a heart attack that made him flatline, and now as a result of surviving that has now really invested in how we think about eating and what we eat and how we as a society address food, and is now investing all his time into that. But he's influenced me personally because I think he's just really opened me up to like a possibility of careers and also perspectives on what kind of a professional path could look like and how you can actually invest in things you care about and do well. So yeah, I think he's just inspired a lot of confidence in me and in myself.
Yeah.
So this is beautiful. He's been really impactful in that way.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Are there you kind of mentioned in terms of his influence on you, but I'm curious if there's anything you felt really important to you that you maybe changed your mind on in the last few years, or a way that your thinking you felt has really shifted maybe since college.
I think that my perspective of what it means to be an open person has changed. I think for a long time I thought openness had something to do with me and how open I was as a person, and what I share or don't share to people, and like what I represent, don't represent. I think what's shifted is that kind of flipping that on others and trying to see how I can help others be more open and share with me. So it's kind of like an openness goes into listening. So it's maybe not a mindset I've changed, but it's something that I've been focusing a lot on, is just learning more about others and how, like, where they come from, what their perspectives are, and that's been something I don't know if I've ever spent as much time now as I have now in my life.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you, when you think about the impact or like a lasting influence you'd like to have either on Wharton or on the people you met here, what would you hope that would be?
Ooh. I think it's like helping. I would want those around me to feel really authentic and to actually like relish and celebrate that.
Yeah.
Because I think that's something that I have been working on and aspiring to do, is just be very much myself. I think in undergrad I was very much not myself and very much trying to fit into different groups, and so now I'm like a lot more comfortable with what I have to offer, and so
I'm shocked. I was fully formed, fully mature in college. You know,
really?
I was so self-assured. Definitely never had issues like that. So I don't think anyone will feel anything in common with you there.
No, well,
we all have it figured out normally by our early 20s.
By our early 20s, I know.
I'm not sure what's wrong with you, Misha, but like, you know, whatever. Whatever. We set a low bar for guests on this podcast.
I guess, you know, you're getting, yeah. Okay, fine.
You made a nice comeback,
my
though.
my quintessential answer. You're like, cool, Misha. Everyone's still finding themselves. I just feel like people should feel comfortable saying no more often, because it's like not something that they're not comfortable. Like, it's just that it's more of that version of being authentic, of like not being afraid to do something a little different. I don't know. And that's what I hope people feel about me. Is this count as a stop sign? Oh,
you know, technically this would be a new question. Favorite Wharton nightlife spot?
Oh, I've only been here once, but I really like it. It's called Trestle Inn.
Ooh.
It's a dance bar with go-go dancers and like whiskey, and it's kind of a funky vibe and not known by that many Wharton people. So
that sounds really fancy.
It's really cool. Fun. It's not that fancy. It's like kind of like a local spot.
Okay.
But it's really fun. It's in Northern Liberties. We should go sometime.
Okay, that would be very cool. You said Trestles?
Trestle Inn.
Trestle Inn.
Trestle Inn, yeah.
There's a famous surf beach in Southern California called Trestles, actually.
Ooh. Are you a surfer?
You know, I pretend.
Okay, aspiring.
I did surf lessons once, and I got rocked, let me tell you.
Oh my gosh.
I got rocked. But you know what? Those are like the stretch experiences.
That's what you need. What are other things that you aspire to do?
Oh gosh.
What are you aspiring?
Are you turning around this interview on me?
This is a precious driver.
So I think something I aspire to do is, I think, professionally speaking, I think one of the things I think a lot about at Wharton is like entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And what that means.
Oh, I want to ask you about this.
Yeah,
okay.
and I saw actually really nice. I was reading an article kind of about this today, and it's kind of the idea is like to get as close as you can to like professional self-actualization.
Ooh,
is like choosing the very best people to work with on the most important things you want to work on. And I've been thinking a lot on that, because I don't know, in many ways I feel like our time here at Wharton in a way is like a kind of mini chapter of entrepreneurship.
Totally.
In the sense that for a while you're not really beholden to an employer.
Yep.
You really choose your days, your activities, your classes. You're kind of a CEO of one, if you will.
Yeah.
And I think certainly it's not exactly the same for some of the same kind of fulfillment that you can get from really having autonomy and mastery over what you choose to work on.
Yeah.
And so that half of the equation I found to be so rewarding and enriching. I think about the thing we're doing right now. You know, the fact that like, you know, hey, a few emails, you know, the acquisition of a Dutch cargo bicycle and a few crazy friends, and